fires of my social energy tanks are burning.
So he won't be at lunch tomorrow, but not because of this conversation.
You need a social regen gem for Alex. You can just plunge it into your forehead, and then you're like, hey, I can hang out with people all I want now.
Going like Diablo-esque with this.
The Dark Wanderer, but he's an extrovert.
The social stone.
Hey, everybody! It's bar sets on fire.
It's Diablo! Hey! Wants to go to hell!
Drinks on me!
Blood of the damned.
All right. There, I texted my wife. What happened last time? What was that train wreck?
Last session was titled Backdraft. We started the session with Tizol failing a death save. I took notes during combat. It's like the council tries to dig into his memories and transform to save the group. He fails. Tizol has another death save. Homunculus heals Tizol. 2 death saves for council. Council's healed by Felix in the stomach of the thing. Goes back down, gets another death save. Council dies and transforms. Felix finds one of his alchemite has turned green. Tizol dies but is revived by Wonder. Alchemite is spent because Tizol, his life force went back into the body. Tizol remembers dying and being inside the alchemite, which is kind of cool. Council keeps attacking, losing half his life per turn. Council kills the Kraken. I have notes. I'm eating. Someone take notes. The ship goes to the ocean floor. Felix tries to fix the sails. Wanda is searching for Council. Tizol tries to push the ship by swimming behind it. Does not work.
Hey.
Felix tries to fix the broken chains. Ishmael tries to get the ship moving, but can't. Tizol sees footprints heading north. Felix gestures for Tizol to follow the footprints. Council dies. He thinks of home as his final thought. Wanda finds him and starts dragging him back. Felix makes...
But you also killed the Kraken. I feel like you glossed over that.
Yeah.
Oh, that was when he was eating. Yeah, Council turns into huge, rides the Kraken away, kills it, and hangs on.
That was pretty freaking awesome.
Eating notes.
It was amazing that Council killed the Kraken.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He died for it, which wasn't his intention, but in a cosmic sort of way, I guess that was a good thing. Tizol sees the footprints heading north, blah, blah, blah. Wanda... Felix makes some quick mends to the ship. It's good enough, but not great. We'll have to make better changes when we get to the shore. Tizol swims down and starts to
Not great? You saying my work isn't great?
You're using pieces of the ship to fix other wrong parts of the ship.
It's like peeling up the floorboards, like, we don't need that.
Tizol finds Sledge. Sledge mimes that he saw the Kraken go north with Council. Tizol tells him to go back to the ship. Sledge goes back to the ship. Wanda is getting close enough to see the light of the sails. Felix keeps working. Sledge and Tizol get back on the ship. Ishmael lets Sledge drive. The ship was made... Was it made with alchemite? Oh yeah, interesting note. The ship was made to be powered with alchemite. And the ship is very old. Nain has been bleeding alchemite for hundreds of years, which is an interesting thing. I as a player, I thought the whole stuff with Nain bleeding and Nan and stuff was like the recent iteration, not an old thing.
I think everything here is post the wound that Nan.
Felix is a monument of man's arrogance.
Ishmael sees Feral Council for the first time. He's confused why everyone is calm. Tizol gestures and tells him that it's Council. They return to the surface. Sledge asks, what the frick was that? Ishmael tries to strike Tizol with the flat of his sword, but misses. Misremembers that Felix was the one that hit him when he was trying to drive the ship. They explain Council to Ishmael. Sledge reiterates his question. It was the Kraken. Felix is visibly bothered by the death of Council. He goes to work to distract himself, and he finds Council's stuff. Council's armor's been destroyed. Ugh, every time. Felix puts it into a pile. Water spills out of the journal box. He inspects to see the journal waterlog. He brings the journal and puts it on Council's body. Ishmael suggests continuing. Felix broaches the subject of the necklace. Ishmael says he has it. The ship moves, but at a much slower rate than before. Wanda stays by council. Felix thinks of a direction with the compass. The next thing we need that we don't have to get to the heart of the world. The compass points south-southwest. They confer with Sledge on the ship's status, and he thinks it is wise to stop and repair the ship before we continue. The group talks about the fate of Orin. Sledge asks about Orin because he doesn't know what we know. Wanda talks about the breakers coming from the west and the Nan approaching from the east. Wanda floats the idea of reincarnating Council. Ishmael wonders what would happen if it was used on Feral Council. Felix says the life force may have to decide. Felix says the shore is the best. We should rest for a day. Sledge isn't sure how far they are from the shore. Ishmael protests against leaving Feral Council to wander around. Felix shrugs it off. Tizol says Council would probably continue to fight for his people. Felix gently tries to remove the water from the journal. He makes a neat little heat element with scrap and red alchemite. Felix is super sad he didn't get Kraken bones. They get to the shore after a day of travel. That's it.
Oh yeah, I forgot that we could do that. Hold on. Where is it? Yeah, okay.
Can't hear it.
Anything? Oh,
Can't hear it. Can't hear any of them.
anything else? Anything else to add?
No.
Pretty good summary. Cool.
Thanks.
Today's session number 44.
That's so crazy.
Is entitled Out of Time.
Oh no.
Out of time.
Not foreboding at all.
Everybody's dead. Body's dead.
Have we had a long rest?
No,
No.
not yet.
Oh my god, music.
Josh Chambus. Calm down, buddy. Turn that way down. You guys travel for the space of a day with Council's body. So are you keeping it on the deck of the ship? Are you putting it below deck?
Keel hauling it.
That makes sense.
It's in a cannon.
Is it starting to smell?
After a day, not terribly.
I imagine under the deck.
Yeah.
Keep the birds off. Looking at you, Tizol.
Seagulls.
Tizol's hungry.
Ishmael
Tizzle-
duct tapes
Tizzle
it to the
packs
top
it.
of the mast.
We're weak in the Bernie scene.
Over the
Arms out
course.
like this. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's just over the course of that day, you do see. Whereas when he turns into his other form, he's like a sausage casing. He slowly deflates back down to the council that you are aware of.
The sausage casing.
Yep.
He's got to break out of his elm skin.
Bunch of ground beef in there.
Yeah, he is 10 pounds of sausage in a 5-pound casing when he's in that form.
Oh no.
Which is why, he slowly just kind of deflates back down to the council that you knew. Anyone who looks at him, he doesn't have any new scars this time. He didn't maim himself in any way in this form. He seemed to have bigger targets in mind. But as you are traveling on the second morning, as you're making your way back to shore, through the mist, anyone who's on deck sees the white sails with the emblazoned purple kraken of the dreadnought. Basically intercepts your vessel, at which point, if Ishmael's awake and on deck, Sledge would turn to him and say, "Captain,
Yes.
I stop.
Well, say that again.
Shall I stop? I don't know if that came across. And as he's asking this question, as you're pondering it, the ship, while you're traveling basically straight west, it is approaching you from the south and is like putting itself in the way of you, that if you don't steer around it or stop or something, you will run into it.
Tizal would hear that and interject and say, "This is the flag of friends. Consent."
Then it seems it might do us well to stop.
Yes.
Aye, aye. And he quickly adjusts the sails so the your forward momentum is slowed even more. You continue to coast towards the ship. And again, anyone who's on deck at this point looking, you can see as the ship is also kind of slowing to a stop, or at least slowing to a coast. I don't know, slowing to it, because ships on the ocean never really like stop. It's just slowing to a bob.
No longer propelled.
Yeah. You can see there's one figure who is kind of standing near the edge, or standing near the railing of the ship and holding on to some of the rigging and looking out into the fog to try and see what this thing is. And you hear a voice call out and say, "Oi!" And just wait for a response.
Ahoy!
Who goes there?
Chisel, you're on deck, right?
Yeah.
Ishmael, if you haven't walked over, Ishmael's like trying to bring you over because he clearly doesn't know who this is.
He's there.
Yeah. Okay. So he kind of nudges you or gives you a little bump at the elbow. Why don't you tell him?
Tizol and Felix, Council and Wander. Are you... What was his name? Stan's dad? Are you the parent of Stan Rogers?
No. This is Captain Atwell.
Ah. What is this guy?
Is this? So when the first Nightingale was destroyed, you were picked up by this ship. They're the ones who brought you to Orin.
Oh,
Okay.
the Dreadnought, not the Nightingale. That's my fault. I mistook this for... Okay.
No, yeah, this is the Dreadnought, the other ship.
So they would tell... Okay, then Tizal, thank you. Tizal would tell Ishmael, this ship brought us to Orin from Pollux.
He, looking down on your ship, just asks again, What is this?
It is a ship. See?
I'm afraid we don't have any more details than you have. It's quite mysterious to us as well, but we're very fortunate.
He kind of peers more through the fog at this point, now that he can see Wander as well. It says, Wander, the tree man. Yes. Permission to come aboard?
Yeah, I certainly don't see why not.
At which point he jumps off of the deck of his ship down onto this one, which is like a 7 to 10 foot height difference.
At this point, Felix comes up to the deck.
What? Oh, Felix, you're here as well. What is this? What are you doing out here?
That is a very long story, I'm afraid.
And we are short on time.
Where are you going? Why? I don't mean to pry if it's
We need to get to Orin to repair the ship. Why are you out here, Captain?
We were on the trail of another Kraken. several days ago, and it slipped away from us. We lost all track of it.
Well,
Go ahead.
Yeah, one of our crew, who's no longer with us, managed to kill the Kraken that we ran into. So that's one down at least.
But in doing so, it badly damaged the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Was it the masked fellow?
Aye.
Indeed.
He killed a Kraken? You're sure of it?
Oh, we all
collectively.
helped.
It was a team effort, but he did most of the lifting.
I got some punches in.
I'm sorry, this is a lot to take in. Previously, your captain friend had died and had been made a member of the Kraken Guard. No?
That's correct.
Where is he?
He got killed by a Kraken.
Are you sensing a pattern?
Had Council also been made a member of the Kraken Guard?
No.
None of us were. No one else was.
How did he kill a Kraken?
Well,
our group is
punch it enough, it'll go down.
We're collectively more powerful than we let on at times.
He motions back to the ship behind him, and you can see along the side of the ship there's a row of 4 cannons that are all have their barrels sticking out of the side. And he says, the Dreadnought has brought down a single Kraken in all of its years. One. And you can see its firepower. How did your friend do this?
Well, as we said, we collectively took it down. He was instrumental in it, but we assure you it is no longer alive. I don't mean to be unkind, but we really do need to get going. Is there anything we can assist you with at this time?
Where are you going?
To Orin for now.
Have you any news of Orin? Do you know where they stand in regards to any Dwarn or non-activity?
We have not been able to return to Orin for more than 2 weeks now.
I suppose with the dock being destroyed.
Yes.
Well, if you've lost your Kraken, and if that's the Kraken that we killed, it might be worth it to visit Orin and see if they need help.
Are you aware there is the mother of all Krakens that is currently guarding Orin?
Yes. We were there for the attack. That is the one that killed Revan.
That one killed Revan. When it emerged from its hiding place, we were just out at sea. We at least bruised one of its tentacles, if you can call it that. Was bigger than any ship I've ever seen. Bigger than a city block, even. But we ultimately had to retreat further out to sea. So, what is your plan for returning to Orin? We would be happy to accompany you, or I can see your vessel is damaged. We could travel alongside for safety.
I'm afraid that you won't be able to follow us the way we'll go. This can travel on land as well. So I think we will come ashore and approach Orin from land.
He takes out a flask from his hip, takes a swig. Now I have heard everything.
Tizal's wing is out.
He hands it over to Tizal. A ship that goes on land. This thing.
It is unlike anything I've seen before as
Yeah.
well. It's
The,
impressive.
the origins of it are a mystery to us.
We offer no explanations.
The precursors built it. Those who came before us, they were quite adept at making advanced technology.
As you're saying this, it's like you're speaking a different language to him. Like you can see on his face, he like visibly glazes over. Like, what? Are you
Who built Orin?
Dwarn of some time ago? You're saying a Dwarn made this land ship.
Yes.
He asks for his flask back from Tizal.
It's a bag.
Takes another swig. If you are traveling to Orin, is your plan to make a stop with old Tim?
We'll probably see him.
Was the harbor destroyed in the attack?
We haven't been able to get close enough to see.
Okay.
But with the damage that we could see that it was doing, I imagine so. Let me see. Did Stan, before his passing, did he give anything to the remaining crew of the Nightingale? Did he pass on his secrets?
No.
Well, perhaps Tim will still have some alchemite then left. I don't know how much hope there is for your friend, but if there's any, I imagine he'll be the best.
Do you know the status of the Nightingale crew?
No.
They're building another ship, so you might see them at sea again.
That'll take months, if not years, to complete, I imagine. A ship can't be built overnight. Well, if you're traveling that way, we'll travel with you.
We would appreciate the company. As we said, we'll probably be going inland north of Orin and then taking the land from there, as you mentioned, to avoid the Kraken. But we would definitely appreciate any accompaniment you could offer.
If I may. Go ahead.
You go.
Do you have any provisions by chance aboard your ship? Any food? Not every member of our crew is a member of the Kraken Guard, so they still need to eat. And with us not being able to get back to Orin, supplies are running low.
I have a couple rations I could spare. I don't know about the rest of you.
Tizal nudges Wander.
I could certainly spare some good berries if you would like.
We'll accept anything.
I offer him some good berries.
Okay. Just like
one per person. Do not eat two. You will explode.
What's the line from Lord of the Rings? Like, a single bite will fill a man. How many of you had? I've had two.
Lambus bread.
You don't get that, Luca. I'm sorry.
Is that a Star Trek reference?
It sure is.
Mm-hmm.
They're on the holodeck.
Harry Potter.
Of course.
Well, so in Harry Potter's on the USS Enterprise.
Yeah. Harry Potter and Hermione are on the holodeck. And,
With Captain Gandalf.
It was a weird crossover, but everybody wanted to see it. And You know,
It was the special Christmas episode.
Yeah.
I know some of these words.
And Spock is like, my precious.
Spock with the ring.
And that was the one where
hairline's all thinning. He's like in the corner of the bridge.
Was that the one where everyone was shipping Drax and Goofy? Am I remembering that correctly?
oh my gosh. This is becoming Kingdom Hearts quick.
A really cool version of it too.
I want to get off this D&D ride.
What were we talking about? Oh yeah, good berries. Thank you.
Yeah.
He accepts the couple good berries and rations from Ishmael. Says the members of our crew who still need to eat will be happy to have these.
If another Kraken were to attack us, my suggestion would be that we flee, and in separate directions, in hopes that it doesn't come for both of us. I don't know that we can survive another encounter with one. Our ship or our lives.
That is rather smart. Have you sailed before?
Most of my life has been... I was Captain Revan's first mate. I've spent a lifetime at sea.
I'm sorry to hear of your loss. You seemed like a perfectly fine man.
He was a wonderful man.
If a Kraken should emerge at this point in our journey, you only about another day and a half, depending on your speed away from shore. We certainly would be able to draw its attention. He again just kind of motions back to the cannons on the side of the ship.
We thank you for that.
Did I understand correctly when you said if we give our team Alchemite that he could potentially help our fallen friend?
I do not know if... That's why I asked if Stan was able to pass on any information to Tim before he,
Sure.
If so, then perhaps Tim would be able to do something. If not, I don't think that there's any way you'll get your friend back.
Wander keeps a straight look on his face, but against his will starts humming optimistically.
It is something we explore. It's a good idea.
It's the only way of bringing anyone back that I know of.
Not the only way.
Tizzle starts humming optimistically while holding the spent alchemite.
All right, I'll get back to the other ship so we can get on our way.
Thank you for
Many
your
thanks.
offers of protection.
And he proceeds to turn and kind of climb up some of the ropes and things hanging down. They don't even drop down a ladder for him. He just climbs up himself. At which point, the Dreadnought accompanies you for the remaining journey to shore.
Is all. Quick thing.
Yes.
You said you remember being in the Alchemite when you died.
Yes.
You retained your memories and any more details?
DM?
Make me a insight check.
Tizzles is like,
Vast, unlimited powers. Itty bitty living space.
9? Tizzle just starts miming like being in a box.
It's you don't remember much about it. You remember becoming the life force that you are and put into this casing. There was no, the thought of Tizal was almost immediately gone. That person who you were It was just like, I am now that life. And then being shunted back into your own body again.
I am energy in a container.
Right.
Have you seen Aladdin?
Yeah.
Is that another Star Trek?
Okay.
So while you were in the Alchemite, you had no conscious.
I don't know what conscious means. I was not dissolved. I was there.
And when you came back, interesting.
I am now dissolved, yes.
Because we do have another Alchemite with someone's life force in it. He gestures over to Sledge. Wonder if you need the original vessel. This might be something I need to look into.
Wander turns to Sledge and says, Sledge, do you remember being someone before you were in this metal body?
I think your noise canceling does not like your Sledge voice.
No.
Oh, were you talking?
Yeah.
Wow,
Oh.
yeah, I didn't hear
None
it.
of that came across.
None of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, I do not.
Perfect.
Out
Did
of
that work?
character, I think
Yeah,
we had that
Okay.
talk with Sledge.
I think we did ask him.
Yeah.
Way back when.
But he now takes 8d8 psychic damage because he's existential crisis.
Sledge drops dead. No, I do not.
Interesting question, nonetheless.
Any other
We're-
questions or
We're
conversations?
moving, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We're assuming
You
we're-
are actively traveling towards land.
Nope, that's all.
You get to the coast, at which point the dreadnought, hails you, says farewell, good luck in your journey, have fun taking your land ship or whatever. And they just kind of turn around and head back south out to sea. Now that you are land bound, anything you would like to do, or just making your way as quick as you can for Orin?
Making my way downtown.
Should we have any more discussions about whether or not we want to attempt a resurrection on our friend Council?
I think the question is, do we want to do the reincarnation, or do we want to fuse him with the purple alchemite?
I think we start with the Alchemite, if possible. His people are important to him, and him being one of the remaining, I think we should try to keep.
Preserving his physical body.
Yes.
Fair enough. We have a backup plan, at the very least.
While we are here, should I fly over the city to see if there is more before we bring the ship closer?
That would be an excellent idea. I'll come with you if you don't mind.
Sure.
During all the traveling, Felix is basically working on his suit for most of the time, and he's putting the raw alchemite on the inner layer of the suit with like a lead shield on the facing outward.
Okay. All right. You let her play. Let her play.
What does
We need
Tizal
an
do?
NPC.
you recognize where you are in relation to Orin. It's still going at your ship's speed. You're probably like 6 hours or so outside of Orin. So you do still have a ways once you get to land to travel southward. But making your way there, along the way, you don't really notice much of anything. It is in the kind of early afternoon as you're traveling, quickly turning into the afternoon to the evening. And by the time you are getting to Orin, it is well into the evening. Sun is still there, but it's just barely like kind of peeking over the mountains. But as you get closer, you can see north of the city on the beach. Well, not north of the city, sorry. To your right of the city, which is west, you can see that there are some encampments kind of out in the sand.
To the right of, sorry to interrupt, to the right of the city is west?
Because you are traveling south.
We're looking at it from the north.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yep. You're traveling south towards Orin. You have seen people kind of passing you along the way. Some of them they seem to be traveling north. But you can see that there are encampments in the sand outside of the walls of the city. But they seem to be a ways off from the city itself.
Can we tell if they look like they're like kind of refugee camps or?
Perception check.
11.
11? At this distance, kind of hard to tell. But eventually, you do reach the walls of Orin. Very familiar. Their scale. Are you immediately just going for the entrance that you normally use?
Sorry, I got sidetracked. Did we say that Tizal and Wander did a flyby or no?
Oh, yeah. Sorry, no, I skipped over that. I forgot about it as soon as you went off the call.
Yeah, sorry.
Ishmael is going to ask Sledge to stop the ship at the walls.
Well, what did Tizal and Wander come back from the flyby?
Yeah, let's have him do that first.
That's probably some good recon there.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. You guys are flying over the bubble. What anything in particular you're looking for, or
Turmoil, fighting of any type, just to see has an invasion happened.
Yeah, Wander is paying attention to the race of the folks to see is there more Dorn than there were before? Are there none around? Kind of what are the pathways of people? Kind of looking at the population density in the city. If it was as dense as before, more people have left.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, you guys can just roll perception checks then.
Uh, 14.
14.
16.
16. Okay. Looking down at this city, you'd have to be pretty close to the bubble to actually like see inside of it. Like if you're a distance away, it starts to become very hazy and hard to make out any details inside. So being closer inside and looking down in, you can see that it looks the water has receded somewhat, but the now like resting spot of the water is here in the picture that I just pulled up, where a lot of the area that you knew before, close to half of it, is now just permanently covered in flotsam and jetsam.
Is the old water line those like brown lines? Those were the like man-made walls that they built?
Yeah, the brown lines of the walls.
So that's like where it used to be, kind of.
Yep. Yeah, so there's at least 6, 7, 8 city blocks that are now just, it's not like they're covered in water, like the buildings are like below the water line, but they're like at least knee high to up to like waist level water in some of those places, all the way to the walls. As far as like population density goes, it looks very empty, aside from that strip essentially from the temple in the center of town out to the doorway, the gate. That is where everybody seems to have congregated. You don't really see anybody walking outside of that. You see a couple, like you can see, you recognize just from the air and having been there before, going over Jones' workshop. You can see that there's still people there that are kind of working around that. But other than that, it's pretty much just that one strip from the temple to the gate. It doesn't look like there's much, like, from what you can see, there's no fighting. Nobody's fighting with each other.
Wander's also looking for any Kraken signs at all.
Okay. As you get to the east side, that tentacle that is like pressed up against the green bubble, it's still there. It has definitely like slid down some, so there's less of it still sticking up out of the water. So it's not like wrapped up and around the bubble so much as it is just like barely like pressed against it, which is still like 50 to 60 feet of tentacle sticking up out of the water.
Okay. So Zoid gonna motion to Wander to get back.
Okay. Make me one more perception check, both of you.
24.
Nice. 16.
Wander, then. You, as you are making your way back to the ship, you can see that there is that like non-encampment that you knew of before, that was kind of northeast of the green bubble. It's still there, and if anything, it has kind of elongated out along that wall some, almost like reaching towards the middle of the circle of Orin. And you, Tizal, looking west, out towards the mountains, looking at the encampments there as you're returning to the ships, you see those are not, they don't look like they would be refugee encampments. They're too far away, and they're not like moving anywhere. They're just like there. I don't know. It's hard to describe.
Sure.
You get the impression they're not refugees.
Sure. Knowing what we know about a potential invasion, I think he would put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah. Yeah. And you make your way back to the ship. Ishmael, were you gonna stop? Or?
Yep. Sorry, swallowed wrong.
Don't do that. It kills people.
Yeah. So he says to Sledge first, as we approach the walls, we should stop the ship at the walls. And is any of the rest of the party on the deck?
Felix? Maybe?
Are you up there?
Yeah.
So, kind of looking to Felix as well, he says, what are your thoughts, Felix? Leave the ship outside the city as opposed to bringing it within. Fear will be far less maneuverable.
If we could bring it in, that might be best. Certainly don't want to leave it out here in case it gets captured.
Well,
so I think
agreed. I don't want to leave it unattended either way.
Our options might be keep it in town or send it back out to sea, and we'll have Tizal come and get Sledge to bring it back when we need it.
How long? We shouldn't spend much time in Orin. Do we want to send the ship all the way back out to sea?
Not that far. I imagine we'll spend at least one night, because if we're gonna fix Council. I don't think it'll happen in a few hours. And I think Tizal can probably make the flight out there if we just know that Sledge is in holding pattern just north of Orin.
That may be wise in the condition of the ship currently, but while we're on land, we should also consider repairing the ship.
That's a good point, which would mean bringing it into town might be a better option.
Indeed.
That way we have use of the forge.
My only worry is if we were to be attacked while in town, who knows what may befall the ship, but repairing it... I think you may be right. Bringing it into town if we wish to repair it is probably the best idea.
Does it fit through the doors?
You'd have to find out. I don't remember if you tried before.
I don't think we've tried.
And so he asked...
We've definitely tried.
Make me just an intelligence check, Felix.
Just kind of measurements. Just
Yeah, you're kind of like, oh, look at it this way. 4.
So just an intelligence check? Would I add my proficiency to that? That's not a skill.
No.
Okay. I'm gonna Flash of Genius it. So then I roll a 24.
Okay. If the ship itself was straight up and down, you feel like it would be able to just barely be able to fit through the doors. Because they're about 20 foot wide doorway, about 20 foot wide ship. But the ship slightly flares out at an angle. And you think that bit would stop you from bringing it within the doors.
Do you share that?
Yeah.
Nope, keep it to yourself.
Full speed.
Do we have the means... Felix, do you have the means to fix the ship yourself?
Do I? Especially if I could go into town and grab some things from Forge.
Make me a wisdom check.
$16.
16. You get the impression you could fix the ship with enough time.
How much would enough time be?
Longer than I think you're wanting to stay here. Not a day or two, or potentially even a week or two.
Oh, wow.
If to be able to repair the ship quickly, you would need many hands to do it in a quick span of time.
Do we know where Ishmael's brother is?
That was real good.
That took me a second.
We need the whole Hands family.
Yep.
Wait, did you play that sound effect?
I played it. I can't hear it, but I played it.
You can't even hear it. You played
Nope,
it.
I knew what it is. Sorry, I'll shut up.
That's great. Yeah, you feel as if it would take multiple people to be able to help. And at that, you probably need people who know what they're doing. Like, you couldn't just like hand a hammer to Wander and be like, all right, you and me, we're going to fix this thing. Although Wander was the bosun on the last ship, so he might be the best equipped of you.
Yeah.
Sensitive dude.
We could. Oh, the. I think our options would, if we want to get this fixed in a timely manner, as far as the people we need to do it, would either be the workers from Jones Forge or the Nightingale crew. One group is experienced with metal and the other one's experienced with ships. But not being able to bring it into the city is a tricky problem.
Could we bring it from the south?
That would be quite risky.
We don't want
Although,
to come within reach of that massive kraken.
and the only ways to enter the green bubble is through the gates, right?
Yes.
If we were to travel as south as we can, perhaps we could come in that way. Try to stay away from the Kraken.
You mean like the southern edge, where that main road meets the city, or the bubble?
I have not been inside, I do not know. I'm just thinking outside the box.
Our maneuverability will be greatly increased within the walls of the city. If that kraken still has a presence there, we can't take much more damage, and if we were to lose the ship, that would be detrimental to our success, our continued success.
Are we succeeding?
I'd say the death of a kraken is one success. Hopefully more are to follow.
Did
Sledge has learned how to tell jokes.
Oh, it didn't fully come through, so I don't think it landed.
Nah.
You think if we took the gates off the hinges, maybe we could fit it through?
Like trying to get a couch through a doorway.
All right, we've got to put it up at an angle. Like, bring it in.
We could build a little ramp to like help the ship go in like that way.
If you're gonna build a ramp, go all the way. Just go over the wall. Easy.
Are Tizol and I back yet, or is this all happening? While
Oh
we're
yeah, you guys are back. I'm sorry, I completely forgot that you weren't there anymore.
Okay.
Yeah,
We
you,
are
Is there-
back to you. We're just pretending you're not there.
you come back mid conversation when they're talking about building a ramp over the walls.
I will.
Hell
yeah,
dude!
That would be sick.
Yeah! Let's send it.
I
Got some sheet
believe.
of plywood.
I think it would make sense to do a Smith grind into the city. I think that would be the.
We have to get all the letters in the word skate.
Do a kickflip.
If we could rotate the ship however we wanted to in 3D space, could it fit through that door?
The doors are as tall as they are wide.
But they're like a big square-ish?
Yeah.
So, like, if the bottom of the ship is the problem, if you had it like this, like diagonal...
Pivot.
Possibly.
Pivot.
Pivot!
You could certainly try.
I can.
Wanda, how much water can you summon in one place?
I could lift the ship with wind over the gate. But I can only
do it.
I
Do it
can
right
only-
now.
I can only do it once for about a week. So that could get us in, but we would still need to get it out.
I mean, Council might need that much time, and the ship might need that much
The
time.
jacuzzi.
Yeah, gosh.
Getting that out of Jack's house.
Don't bring that up.
Oh,
Jack takes psychic damage.
we all do. Everyone who's there.
As I'm sitting in the very spot it was.
I'm not sure if I could create quite that much. I can maneuver water if water is available.
Could you
Creating-
move the ship with water?
The water would need to be within 100 feet of where I was moving the ship, I believe.
Alright, I'll go ring the bell again and get us some more water.
Please no.
Oh no.
I'm worried we're overthinking this.
I still have I have an
This seems
outstanding question about the ship. We didn't realize it could go over land, and it goes over land. We didn't realize it could go underwater, and it goes underwater. Have we yet tried to have the ship fly in the air?
Glance over to Sledge.
No.
Mm,
We haven't
Sledge.
tried, or you don't think it can?
have you attempted to make it go up as it did when we were underwater, but do it here on the land? Could you attempt that?
I am not sure.
Can you try?
No. Not in its current condition.
Ah,
That does make sense.
Can you get it over the wall, Tizal?
I think I could.
do you have enough control over it to keep from destroying the ship or killing those within the walls?
Sure.
You
I've
have,
never tried to do this to lift a ship.
you have the confidence of a neuron.
Your confidence is not reassuring.
Change your perspective.
Are we sure it would be that difficult to forge parts and then put them in a wagon and carry them outside of the city walls? At this juncture, it feels like even if that might take a little bit more effort, it might be the safer option.
I will say this, that on the way back, I thought we would have shared this when we got back, what we saw. So I'm just assuming that Tizal Wander shared what they saw. If we have encampments by the mountains that don't seem to be refugees, they are coming this way. We can assume.
We don't want the ship to be out here when they do.
We don't want the ship to be out here, and having people working out of the city walls might put them in danger.
Especially given the capabilities of our enemies.
Agreed. Your idea of having it wait at sea with Sledge is a wise one.
It's either at sea or in the city at this point.
But have we determined a way to get it within the city without confidently?
Here we are.
Indeed. So that
Spencer, out of character, what I'm thinking,
Mm-hmm.
Tizal has the control winds spell.
I'll be back.
Yep.
soon.
Using the updraft, would that be enough Because it says that the creature can jump up to 10 feet higher than. Obviously, ships can't jump, but could it sustain enough lift that we could lift it and get it over the wall? Or die trying?
Well, can we take it over the wall? Because isn't the green bubble there? I mean, if it's above the gate, that's where the green bubble is protecting, right?
Green bubble's protecting Orin, but the gate, there's that middle way where there is all the armory and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Can you,
I think
can you
that's-
see my mouse?
Yes.
This area
Yes.
Mhm.
in there. That's what you're talking about, right, Luca?
Yep. Yeah, get it
I
over the
see.
first wall where the bell tower is that we rang. We get it over the first wall, then it's at least within the city walls, but everything past that is covered by the bubble.
But it's only 10 feet.
Right.
How high are
Rules
these
is written.
walls?
Rules is written. It says a creature can jump 10. This isn't a creature. It's really whatever Spencer thinks like would make sense. Like, could this be done?
Mm-hmm.
So
Sure.
DM's call.
It wouldn't be enough to lift the ship as is. Due to the ship being very heavy. That being said, you could potentially use the sails as like as a sail or as a parachute to catch more wind to create even more updraft, but with the state of the sails and them being kind of the weak point currently, it's risky. You risk just basically breaking them free.
How tall are the walls? Sorry, I was out of character wondering. The city walls.
I think I said like 30 or 40 feet.
So if we combine the ideas of Wander and Felix and send Sledge and the ship out to sea, and while we're in town we have forged the necessary repairs, we can bring them back to the ship, and once we begin travel, perhaps Felix, you could work on the repairs and we can assist you as needed?
That seems
that
like the
work?
most feasible option at this point.
Do you feel like you can put together a sufficient list that would allow the repairs to take place?
Of course I do.
Then we could, and it might be worth, if we have enough allies on our side, having the folks at the forge create the parts that we need. We can do what we can in the city, perhaps run into the crew of the Nightingale, and they could assist us in installing the parts and actually performing the repairs.
We are certainly
Yes, then.
relying on a lot of generosity.
Well, I think we've earned it after the pain and sorrow we've put the city through.
Make a good point.
If that means they'll get us out of here, I'm sure they.
Not wrong.
So we'll drop us off at the city. Sledge will take it out to sea, and then we'll make the arrangements in the city. And when we're done, we'll send Tizal out to Sledge, and he'll come back.
Perhaps Tizal should stay on the ship with Sledge until he finds where he wants to be, then come join us in the city so he knows exactly where the ship is.
It's a good idea.
We can have a meeting point for you, Tizal, if you're comfortable with that.
Sure.
I could also just fly out and bring him back. Either way.
I think the church builder, wherever the infirmary is.
Yes, I'll meet you at the temple.
Yeah,
Temple.
that building.
That'll work fine.
That will be where council is, because that's where old Tim is,
Then we should push on.
most likely.
Has it been? There hasn't been a full rest since the Kraken fight, right?
Yes, there has been.
Yeah, it was
Has
like
been?
2 days
Yeah,
travel or
it's
something.
been 2 days of travel.
Yeah. I thought I said earlier and we said no.
Well, when we started the session, we
Not
hadn't
yet.
traveled.
When you started the session, you hadn't, but you traveled alongside the Dreadnought for a time. You
Okay.
traveled before you, yeah. So it
Oh,
has
cool.
been.
I leveled up.
Just his all.
Just his all.
He leveled up twice, actually. The rest of you really needed to pull your weight in that fight.
And
Oh, I
only got 4 more hit points.
That sounds high.
He was high when he rolled the dice.
It's true. Very high.
It is 420.
I rolled
Yep.
-6. Come on.
Yeah. Go
So
ahead.
I'm assuming Sledge has been there the whole time. Sledge, are you prepared for this?
I worry about being out at sea, but otherwise it is a sound plan.
You don't need to be very deep in the sea.
Although, as I mentioned before, the Anon are congregating on the northeast side of the city a little bit more than previously when we encountered them.
If I am overrun by the non, what shall I do?
Go to the shore.
Flee to the shore.
And if you're overrun by Dwarn, go to the ocean.
And if
I
I'm overrun
see.
by Iran, go under the ocean. That won't happen.
I see. I am prepared.
Just make sure that you put some water between you and the ocean, or you and the shore, because the Dwarn are capable of being invisible. So you'd be able to see them treading water.
It is sound.
Where should we have Sledge sail?
Well,
The
are-
south
are you-
end.
Are you to go with him? You can help direct him.
Yes, but I want to make sure that we leave him in a position that's safe.
Gotcha.
I initially thought the north end, because that's where the Kraken is closer to the south end. But if the Non are gathering nearby, it might make more sense to be at the southern end.
We're running out of good options here.
There's no perfect option. I say we just someone choose one.
Although the exit of the city is closer to the northern shore. So that's actually what I would say.
Yes.
It's likely where we will return.
Stay more north than northeast, but yes. The northern end is probably best.
I can travel along the coast.
Okay. Let's go.
All right. So, are you guys wanting to be dropped off like at the gates of the city, and then Sledge goes out from there? Okay. Okay. So he makes that understood and takes you to the gates, drops you off, and then heads back north with Tizal.
Can we do a quick bio break?
Sure.
Yes, please.
No, pee yourself
I just went. Yeah.
in a bottle. You didn't leave your desk.
Are you having fun?
Steady?
Not participating?
I did leave my desk. I said, be right back. And I
You
go.
carcass.
Corpse can't talk. Shush.
Shh.
It's very hard not to talk while all this is happening, especially when you play a character like Console. It's like, I have so many opinions.
Actually,
Yeah?
I'm gonna take a bio.
What you're gonna be? Your dead body's just gonna get ferried on this. Wow.
I'm going to go make dinner and cry.
Nah.
You're the only one who's back?
I guess.
It's like I felt like this break. It's been like 6 minutes. My goodness, where did everybody go? Owie. Excuse me.
I'm here, but I'll stay off camera unmuted while I'm shoving baked potato into my face.
How dare you? I will say, I don't know if you have an air fryer, but I will do my middle class duty of saying you should put a baked potato in an air fryer.
Mmm.
It's already baked. Why would you put it in there?
Well, you put it in as a raw potato. Ugh.
The kind of person who puts toast in a toaster.
Have double toasted. You put it on the bagel setting so that it only toasts the one side, and then what the crap?
It's very inspirational music for what you're just talking.
Yeah, bagel setting on toasters. Okay.
This is the Tizol and Sledge Alone at Sea track.
It's like I'm flying.
I don't want people to ship this.
I'm just pleased I used the phrase shipping correctly earlier.
Yep.
Good work. I wish you hadn't, but
You're becoming hip, Barnabas.
Slow but sure.
You're gonna get there someday.
I used-
you'll be smoking jazz cigarettes.
None of the devil's lettuce for me. I used OP in front of my nephew, who was like 10 years old the other day, and he just stopped and gave me this look like, how do you know what OP means? They're like, do you know what it means? I'm like, yeah, overpowered. He was just shocked, and they said, I'm a weeb. I said, oh, you're into Japanese culture and stuff? And he's like, no, I like video games. Like, pretty sure it's short for weeaboo.
You know, you gotta school them.
And he was like, no, I think you're wrong. And then we rounded the corner to talk with my two kids who are weebs, and we both said, what's a weeb? And Grace went, it's short for weeaboo, someone who's very infatuated with Asian culture, including anime and things. And Evan just looked at me. He's like, "Did I get schooled twice by my uncle? What is happening here?" He was just devastated.
That 10-year-old will never recover. You just ruined that man's whole career. Yeah, Alex said just 5 more minutes. What the crap is he baking?
He's air frying an unbaked potato.
He's gonna have a delicious baked potato. It makes the skin like all crispy. Delicious.
Is it faster than the oven?
I don't know how much time it takes. You'd have to ask Crystal.
I bet it's faster.
Probably.
What takes longer?
Yeah.
I imagine it's faster, but I don't know. She'll do like 4 of them at a time in our air fryer. Super good. And of course, I then make it super unhealthy by just like taking a cube of butter and wrapping the potato around it, eating it.
Well, yeah.
This is the way.
It's delicious. Is it faster in an air fryer to make the baked potato?
It takes about 35 minutes, so no.
Okay. I was kind
Comparable.
of thinking it might not take a shorter amount of time, but it can certainly yield better results, more crispiness on the outside.
And do you put? I know you put stuff on them. Do you put it on before or after baking?
I put it
Frying.
on before I do the. You still poke holes in it and do olive oil and then salt and whatever seasoning on the outside.
Sure. Yeah.
Super yummy.
Sounds good. That's 6.
Mhm. I'm not like a huge baked potato guy. I like potatoes just fine, but it's delicious.
I feel like any other food, that sentence makes sense. But to me, when you said I'm not a huge baked potato guy, I'm just picturing your face on a big potato with legs and arms.
I'm not Mr. Potato Head.
I'm not Mr.
but-
Potato
All right, Alex at least had the excuse of making food. Where's Adam?
He's making a potato because it's like one of the 4 things he can eat.
He turned into a cat.
He did turn into the cat. He's that
Yeah.
cat back there.
Adam, get over here.
Adam, go to the computer, Adam.
Adam,
Here, boy. He's
Here, boy.
listening.
Oh, yeah, what sound do you make to
It's
cats?
coming.
It is. Go, come on,
Yeah.
come on, Adam. No, Adam, stop playing with your action figures.
this is all very plausible.
It's even better if he can hear us right now. That'd be great. He's just wearing his headset, like in the bathroom, listening to all this.
Wait, does he have 2 TVs down there?
No,
Oh, that's a picture. Oh, that's a picture.
this.
That's
Yeah,
Star Wars.
It's Star Wars. Yeah, that's Star Wars. That's the TV. Oop. Those are stairs. That's a treadmill. That's Master Chief. Does have a
Stop
number of
mansplaining.
Batman.
Stop
There-
mansplaining stairs to your
Look,
wife.
that's Batman. That's also Batman. Stairs go up.
Why?
These stairs go up.
They go down too.
Why are we
These
patronizing
stairs
Crystal?
go down, Dory.
Are those board games or are those books?
These are board games.
Yeah, I see Catan there.
Yeah, he's got
He's
a
got
couple of them.
photosynthesis, a bunch of D&D books.
Photosynthesis.
Yeah,
That's what the game's called.
he's got the Iron Hulk on top.
Is that a hockey player? Oh, sorry, no. Just kidding.
What?
Mario. Looks a
Mario.
little bit like
What? What?
What?
What?
What?
Okay,
I'm so confused.
that makes all of us.
Well, you got your video froze for me at
Audio
least.
is like 35 seconds behind.
Oh, let's see. Does someone want to call Adam? Okay.
Oh, did he drop?
No, he's there, and that's a live feed of his basement.
Might be
Oh.
might be pooping.
Do we need to see if he's okay?
I mean, we said bio break. Can't
guess
get
we
mad
did.
at him for doing it wrong.
We didn't discriminate what kind of bio you can take during a
I
bio.
was only
break.
gone for 10 minutes. Yeah, it could be a poop.
I pooped
Good job, Jack.
really, really
You
fast.
and you what? You wear that on your sleeve like a badge of pride, Jack.
Don't wear your poop on your sleeve.
No, I was talking specifically about poop. Wear it on your shirt.
Real,
I'm sure
real party foul.
I really wonder if my wife can hear me and thinks, "What is he even saying?"
She's like, this is Dungeons and Dragons. This is what he's been ditching me for the
Your
last like
friends are
6
a
years.
bad influence.
You didn't used
Yeah.
to talk about Poopa, John Luca. You didn't used to
I
talk
saw
about.
movement.
You
Adam's
want to talk
alive.
about Poopa, John Luca?
That was a Freudian racial something that I didn't enjoy.
Oh, there's no.
Luca, you didn't talk about Poopa.
Adam's alive.
He's not walking like he got off a horse, so it couldn't have been that bad.
Didn't hear any cavernous
I like
whistling as he walked.
The expression change.
We're just talking about
What
poop.
was that in reference to?
You having a mondo poop.
Yeah.
Oh, no. No.
Was it a little one?
Getting that kid situated.
It's just one of the messy ones where you have to keep wiping. Just-
What? Not with a
Well,
bidet, you don't.
So
Nope.
you're figuring out where the ship goes. It goes north. You guys are going into town. There's
Wonder
no
if
toilet
music.
paper case
Yeah.
first. Yeah.
I love this track.
Oh.
Hey, you finished your potato.
Oh, you're just eating.
Yep,
I'll be eating my noodles, so someone else take notes.
Uh-oh.
got it.
Thank you.
All right. Everybody's making their way into town except for Tizal, or are you gonna wait for Tizal? Also, important thing I'm gonna bring up just so you guys don't shoot yourself in the foot. What are you doing with Council's body during all this?
That crossed my mind. Assume it's staying on the ship.
Ishmael thinks about it. He's like, "Yeah, it'll just stay on the ship. It'll be fine."
Just drag him.
I mean, that's a good question. Do we want to bring him in?
At
To...
this point, would anyone ask questions?
I mean, he
Adventurers
looks
be
all floaty,
adventuring.
right?
Dead bodies follow us where we go.
Yeah,
So
it's council. He comes with us everywhere.
You're gonna weekend
The
it.
weekend that Bernie's in?
yeah.
No, guys,
Please.
he's sleeping. It's cool.
He's
By his
there's
left
he
side,
drank a
the
little
right side of...
Just put his mask
There's
back on, and
Well,
no one
and
will notice.
he's still monster size, not council size.
No, he's a
right?
deflated. He's
Oh, yeah. Remember the
Well,
deflated sausage?
deflated
casing.
sausage. Yep.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Is he all wrinkly now?
Out of the frying pan and into the frying pan.
Like a prune.
We'll do, oh gosh. Andre the Giant Fez...
Fezzik.
Fezzy legs?
There we go.
Wait,
We'll do what he
Princess
does.
Bride.
With, yeah.
wait, Dwed Pilot Roberts.
Yeah.
So good. Okay. If you want to bring his body with you, that's fine. Okay.
What-
Thank you, DM.
No problem.
As you guys collect his body, Ishmael says, "While I will not attempt to stop you, I want to voice again that I am not in favor of this path. I don't trust the magic behind what you're going to attempt." He starts making his way off the ship.
You don't trust alchemite magic?
I don't trust any form of magic, let alone one I know nothing about.
Oh, we know plenty about this form of magic.
It doesn't seem that way.
Worked all right for Revan.
Did it?
Till it didn't.
Well, he would have just still been in the ocean.
I'm laughing because I want to be part.
Yeah,
well, you can certainly allow us to believe in this type of magic for you. It worked well for Revan, and his passing wasn't necessarily influenced by it. So,
let's be off.
Making your way into town, you see in that open area outside of the bubble, but within the walls, there is a fair number of refugees that are encamped there. So they're not outside, but they're right here on the inside, just trying to get as far away from the water as possible. And they were already starting to gather in there by the time you left, but now it's been another 6 days, 7 days, almost a week since you left, and they are. You feel like most of the town that hasn't left is out here. The ones that are still within the walls that wander into Zalsar are the minority.
I'm taking notes again because the noodles are boiling lava hot.
Okay.
Sounds like you're a baby.
Got it.
I don't like pain associated with my food, unlike some freaks in this call.
You enter into the city. You see immediately, this one thoroughfare from essentially the Magister's Tower to the temple in the middle of the town is just that street is just lined with makeshift tents. People have put up blankets and they've put out their rolls, whatever things to lay on the ground. Some have even taken little straw mattresses that they previously had within their homes and kind of dragged them out here. Everyone who's within the walls of the city is here. And nobody really has a lot of stuff. You don't see people doing a lot of things. They're honestly just sitting around and talking. And any of the conversations that you overhear as you're walking they're not in good spirits. They're not on the verge of suicide or anything, but they're well, this is kind of a bummer, huh? And you get the impression they haven't really figured out what to do yet, how they're going to recover from this. And they don't. No one seems to really be taking charge. By the time you reach the temple in the center of town, that square, you can see here that there is some amount of normalcy of life. When you left, there was the couple of houses that were, or the one house that was getting filled up with the bodies where you had previously found Jurgen. And there were other houses that were being used kind of as emergency triage stations for wounded and ill and sick. But the water here has subsided, at least to the point where it's only ankle deep. But there is still water that you have to walk through. And you can see almost immediately upon getting to this point, the water's very stagnant. The water here has all sorts of different colors of bodily fluid that have been mixed in with it, and dirt and just garbage, just debris from the buildings and from people's possessions. it's just kind of pooling here.
Lovely.
It's you understand why people don't really want to be in the city at this point. You're like, yeah, it's kind of a downer in here. But getting to the temple itself, there's not the mass of people that were trying to get in that you had previously experienced. It is not open, like the doors aren't wide open, people spilling in and out, but there's not a line to get in either. So you feel at least this like one portion of the city has some amount of not normalcy, but maybe order to it. They've been able to figure out how to process the issues that they're dealing with. Going inside?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Going inside, you can see the two immediate doors to the right and the left. The right being where Kaz has set up his station. That room is still fairly full with bodies on cots and on the ground, and some of the not as immediately dying folks are in there. The room on the left being fairly similar to that, kind of packed to the brim with people who are more minor injuries. Entering into the like main chamber of the temple is where you see this is still very packed, and there are a lot of people with the more grievous injuries in here. Looking around for old Tim, upon immediately entering into the main room here, you don't see him, but after a minute or two, you actually see him sitting in a chair over against a far wall. And he's just kind of leaning back and like staring up at the ceiling when you see him. Can I approach?
Yeah.
Okay.
Ishmael just stays a step or so behind because he doesn't know who these people are.
Okay. Oh yeah, Ishmael probably see. Is this the first time you've been in here? So yeah, you are seeing the like pillars with the Dwarn figure carved into them around this room. You're seeing the cots set up everywhere. You're seeing the pews of the temple being kind of filled with bodies. Yeah. I imagine this is what you would see in an emergency room after a hurricane. Maybe Luca can confirm that because he's well, where you lived in the south, you didn't have hurricanes, right? Alex,
You lived through.
We're too far inland.
Oh,
I
Alex.
thought you were going to say Luca.
No, I know
Like, I
Luca
think
went through
Luca-
Katrina.
Sorry, Katrina.
No, I was
Yeah.
in Savannah and Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah, you're too far inland. Cool. So yeah, it's not happy. So you're seeing that for the first time, but yeah, everyone else you recognize the scenery. It is more packed than you have seen it, but other than that, this is kind of how this temple has always been while you've been here. And yeah, old Tim is just staring at the ceiling. He doesn't even notice you guys as you approach.
Him.
He looks down and you see again Tim's face. You may have forgotten what it looked like since you were on the boat, but you can see that he himself has a lot of scarring on his body, especially on his face. You can see one of his eyes is just completely, he's blind in it. There's like this nasty like claw marks or something over the eye. Part of his jaw is wired shut. He's got like a metal plate on like the side of his head. So he's kind of just a mess of a person. If you were to look down at like his fingers, he's like missing several on each hand. He has been through a lot, and he when upon hearing his name, stares immediately at you. Says, "Felix, right?"
We got a favor to ask you.
He like turns so that his good eye is looking at you. What's that?
We visited the wreck of the Nightingale. Had a run-in with the Kraken. We did manage
The bottom of the sea.
the bottom of the sea.
Right.
We did manage to kill it, but not without losing one of our own. He kind of gestures at Council, slumped in a pile. Is the crew of the Dreadnought, Captain, what's his name? Atwell.
Bailey Atwell.
He mentioned maybe you'd be able to help us bringing him back.
Aye. If we have the right things, and if we still had Stan.
What would you need?
If we had any of the purple alchemite, could certainly do it then.
You don't have any?
No.
Do you know how it's made?
All I saw was when we needed some, Stan would make it. He had a
necklace.
A necklace. He had a necklace, and he would use that of some kind. Not exactly sure.
Well, that necklace is what we pulled up out of the bottom of the ocean.
You see the one side of his face that still moves at all. The eyebrow goes up, the other one stays in place. Did you know?
So just some of this purple alchemite is what you need? That's it?
I imagine an eln on the inside is similar to a hewn or a dwarven for that matter.
Mind if we leave him with you?
He kind of scans the room to see if he can see like an open pew or something to put him in.
He doesn't need to be comfortable.
I suppose that's true.
Then kicks him in the ribs. Spits on his corpse.
Council comes back. Why does my chest hurt?
I feel like one of my ribs is broken. I don't understand.
The Kraken. Yep. Yeah,
it's definitely that.
Gee.
Yeah, you got a good wallop from him. Sure, you can leave him here. My break's almost over. I got to get back to tending to patients, but if you leave him here, he can take my seat, keep it warm for me.
He won't be keeping it warm.
It was a joke. I'm sorry. The humor gets dark when you're around death all day.
Is the Nightingale crew here?
No, I don't imagine they'll be back for a number of weeks yet.
Got it. Still down south.
Aye.
Well, I'll see what I can do. If you don't know anything else about how they get the purple and the alchemite, I just need to try to figure it out myself.
If I only saw him do it once or twice, with my own eyes. Usually he'd prefer to do it in private. Seemed personal to him for some reason. If we can get the necessary parts all together, then I should be able to put it back. How long ago did this happen?
Couple days.
Can you be more specific?
2,
3?
2,
Nearly 3,
3.
2.5.
All right. The sooner the better. If you can find the necessary parts, sooner the better.
Necessary parts just being the purple alchemite, right?
Yes, if we can get that. Look,
I wonder if the Magister would have any ideas.
I don't know if he'd know much about alchemite as much as me and Kaz.
That's true.
I don't want to speak where I'm not wanted. But the only one I know of who had any knowledge of the purple alchemite specifically was Stan.
We do know another person.
Kind of like cocks his head towards you.
Stan ever talk about his father?
Robin? Once or twice.
We ran into him. We could find him again if we needed to.
He didn't mention that. If you have the necklace and you have alchemite, we could certainly try to make the purple.
I'll see if Kaz has some extra raw alchemite.
Right. Well, I'll be here. If I'm not in this chair, I'm around taking care of someone. Right.
I guess with that, we go over to Kaz. I go over at least.
Yeah. As soon as you guys walk away, you hear him like slap his knees and kind of do the old dad stand up, get up out of the chair. Well, about time to head out. Heads over to work on some of the other patients that are waiting. You all traveling with Felix? About that time, Giselle, you'd be making your way into the city. You and Sledge, just went a couple minutes northward and then out to sea, and then he just said, he'd wait there in that area.
We left, can I remember his name?
Jurgen?
Yeah, that we found. Yeah, Jurgen. We left him with Kaz, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, Wander's keeping an eye out for Jurgen.
Okay.
He didn't end up back in the body pile again, did he?
You didn't check?
Just keep tossing him out there.
Yeah. I'm not dead.
As we're walking, Ishmael asks Felix, Stan's father, was this the one you met out in the desert?
Yeah.
I'm worried that if we are not able to solve this problem in the next day or so, that we will not have the time to venture into the desert to find this man.
We won't. We'll just reincarnate him then. It would still be good to know how to make purple alchemy.
Indeed.
Okay.
That's it.
You make your way into Kaz's room, which you can see him in there. And you can see he's actually, aside from the normal like bits of alchemite dust and whatever that he's got on top of his desk, you can see that he's actually got one or two like guns that he is like trying to assemble. He's got like his notes basically splayed out on one side of the table, and he's got the other, like he's trying to like look over at them and like put all these pieces that he's created over the last week or had created together very fiddly, and letting out a curse every once in a while. And you can see kind of propped up against the wall, similar to how you left council, up against the wall and kind of under the table, you can see Jurgen as well.
Alive?
Make a medicine check.
Oh no.
12.
Yeah, he's alive. Super low DC. He's alive. As you're approaching, you can see him breathing.
Yeah, Wander walks over and says, Jurgen, how are you doing?
Who's that?
Wander, the tree fellow.
Oh, Wander. I'm alive at least. At that point, you can see Kaz as well, like looks over and gets a little start from seeing you standing there. Says, "Yep, he has kept me alive against the wishes of everyone else in the temple, it would seem. But I'm here."
I'm glad to see you're still alive. Would you like me to sing another song to comfort you?
Did you sing to me before?
I certainly did.
I mean, yes, I would love that.
No.
All right.
It
Wander
was so
starts
bad.
singing again.
At which point he connects the dots that, oh, that like weird sound thing you did was singing. Okay. And he just does the very polite thing and sits there and listens. So you do that.
And kind of like, while this is going on, Felix, kind of in a lowered tone to not disturb the singing, starts talking to Kaz.
Okay. You're back. I didn't expect you to be that quick.
Well, we come back in need of some things. Although we had some help in our journey to make it quicker.
Oh, were there none that helped?
You could say that.
All right. Well, I don't have too many of the guns ready yet. What else do you need?
You remember the ship that we came in?
Yep.
It sustained some damage when we fought with the Kraken.
All right.
So I might need to use the forge a bit to make some parts to repair it.
You'd have to talk to your lady friend about that. I'm not gonna commandeer or forge for yet another thing.
I'll take care of it. I do need your help with something else, I think.
He kind of like puts down the pieces of the gun that he's working on.
Would you like to try to learn a bit more about alchemite? You ever seen purple alchemite?
No.
Well, we're gonna try to make some. And
Tell me, Felix, what does that do?
he goes into the whole story behind Revan and the Kraken Guard, and eventually how, using the necklace, they're able to make the purple alchemite.
Some of the people who were in the room previously having to listen to Wander's singing have gotten up and like taken themselves out of the room now. It's a little less crowded in here. Like some people like get up with their own crutches and kind of like hobble out. So you're saying there's another kind of alchemite that we are not privy to, and you would like to make some. Like, parsing that correct?
Correct. And he gestures to Ishmael. You have the necklace, right?
I do.
Could we see it?
He pulls it out. He holds it really high in the air and he goes, see? See?
Dumbledore.
I'm sorry, what is that supposed to do? How's that supposed to help?
Apparently they use this to make the alchemite. Maybe with some studying we can use it in the same fashion. Do you have any raw alchemite laying around?
I don't. Everything I've got is already been imbued with one thing or another.
That will be a problem.
You don't have any?
I could come up with it.
If you're thinking about going into the mountains, I would say don't.
No, I have a piece. I've just had plans for it, but I suppose that will have to wait. He kind of opens a little hatch in his chest and pulls it out.
And what was your design for that?
We'll save that for another time. Let's get into this.
You know, Felix, sometimes I get the impression I'm only here to help you with what you want to do.
I could offer advice if you have any projects you have.
You've given me enough projects as is. What's this?
It's the raw alchemite that hopefully we can get some of this purple energy into.
He takes the raw alchemite and looks at Ishmael for the necklace.
Could we have the necklace for a moment?
He hands it off.
Okay.
And I'm gonna like lay it out on the bench and just kind of study it.
Okay. Yeah.
See, yeah.
The necklace itself, very like simple gold chain, with a small locket on it. When you open the locket on the inside, on the left side, you can see there is a portrait, a drawing of a woman. There's no color to it. It's not. It's just black and white. And on the other, there's what appears to be another similar portrait of a young girl. Kaz just kind of turns to you. Says, "This got something to do with it?"
Do these ladies look familiar at all?
No, not that you can remember. Make me an intelligence check again.
That one.
You are not the sentimental type.
Too busy thinking about how cool his armor is.
No. Yeah, you don't look familiar.
Felix is going to look a little more around and see if there's the rune of Dalen on here.
Okay. Make me an investigation check. Wander, why don't you give me a performance check while you're singing for the room? And 'tis all about this time you'd probably make your way in.
Got 21 on investigation.
Okay.
And
1.
17 for performance.
You feel like this is some of the best singing that you've done, actually. Very, very, very good. As some people have left earlier in the performance, it maybe twinged your heartstrings a little bit, but that just emboldened you to sing even louder. And no one else has left in a while, so as Jurgen is listening, you think. Now, Ishmael's at least standing there. Tizal has arrived.
The body pile seems more appealing now than ever.
Somebody kill me. You, with 21, you said for investigation?
Yeah.
Felix? You find inside the locket, these are actually not the first portraits that have been placed in here. And you kind of like get out a little small blade, almost like a razor blade that you have in your tinker's tools, and you are able to like carefully peel up the portraits, and behind them you can see another set of portraits. On the left there is another portrait of a woman with as far as you can tell, lighter hair. There's not as much shading in the hair. And on the right there is a young boy. And again, being the non-sentimental type that you are, you peel back, seeing is there more and more layers to this. You peel back these portraits, and on the left it is just a kind of a blank golden wall, and on the right behind the picture of the boy there is the symbol of Dalen is there.
So he points it out to Kaz, like, this is Dalen's mark. He made these artifacts for each of the deities. This one was Horin's.
Is that so?
And if Robin is to be believed, this was passed down by Horin to his children. Robin being one of them, and Stan being the most recent of the Nightingale. I'm assuming that's what all these pictures are for. It's their family.
The significance of the D just being Dalen. Dalen marked all of his creations.
He did.
Okay. And how did you come into possession of this? And are you aware of if it's some kind of artifact? Does it have magical ability that it is able to create the purple alchemite?
The other artifacts of Dalen have had special properties, and we're not sure about this one. It must have something to do with the purple alchemite. It could just be, and he takes the raw alchemite and just places it in the middle of the necklace. It might just be as simple as the proximity, the way energy normally is absorbed by alchemite.
He sits there for a minute or two and just kind of watches. The alchemite doesn't seem to be changing. He says, "Is there something we're supposed to do with it? Do you have any idea, or are we just shooting blind here?"
Well, Tim said he had seen it once or twice, but not very closely. So we at least know the necklace was involved, and that it is possible.
Well, maybe, and he takes the alchemite down, because the piece of alchemite is bigger than the locket. The locket is, like that size. He grabs it, like tries putting it like in different orientations. Like he tries putting the locket on top of the alchemite, tries like putting the locket like next to the alchemite, tries like putting it above it, below it, and doesn't appear to be any reaction that you can see.
Him actually is the one who put the alchemite in the chests of the people who had it done. Perhaps he...
You're saying... Hold on. You're saying that old fogey out there is the one that's responsible for whatever your friend was?
Yes.
All right.
Thinking we should pull him in here.
Sure. More cooks in the kitchen.
Didn't he tell you it was Stan?
Him is the one who put the alchemite in the chest cavity. Stan is the one who made the alchemite. At least, that's what I understand. And now that means Tim has handled the pieces of alchemite that have gone through this process. Maybe there's something about the size of it. Maybe it needs to be small enough to fit in the locket itself.
That's a good question.
But anyway, maybe once he sees the necklace, it might jog his memory. Wander, would you mind going and getting him?
Sorry, I withdraw the question. I was still singing. My bad.
I can go. Tizal goes to fetch old Tim.
You find him. He is. I don't remember if you were in here before when I described the gentleman who's like part of his face was like pocked up and like almost like dissolved looking. He's tending to that gentleman. He's like kind of dealing with some of the wrappings and bandages. And it looks like he's like part of the way through changing out his wrappings for fresh ones when you come up to him. But seeing you, he immediately recognizes that at least you're a knight, Aran. He doesn't know that you're Tizal.
I would approach. Old Tim, we require your assistance with the necklace.
That's a fancy piece of work there you got in that eye socket. What's that about?
There'll be time for questions about my eye after we deal with the necklace. Please come. Sorry.
Right? Didn't mean to poke a bear. I'm in the middle of something here. Can I join in a minute?
Walks away.
He like gestures down to the man. You just walk away.
I walk back to the door, basically, to wait for him.
He quickly like motions for another one of the aides there to come over and take over for him. And then he hobbles after you. So you see him walking up, and you see now he's also got a cane that he uses to walk around. He gets up to where you are. Where's the necklace? Where is it? And the alchemite?
It's this way. It is with a friend. Can I
Alright.
lead him there?
Okay.
While
Going.
we're waiting for him to fetch old Tim, I'm going to cast Identify on the necklace.
Okay.
So you choose one object that you must touch through casting the spell. If it's a magic item or some other magic imbued object, you learn its properties and how to use them, whether it requires attunement to use or how many charges it has, if any. You learn whether any spells are affecting the item and what they are. If the item was created by a spell, you learn which spell created it. And yeah, that's the other half is for creatures.
Okay. So you cast on this necklace, on the locket specifically.
Yeah.
And what you are able to find out is that this necklace, and as you're learning this about the necklace itself, you're remembering parts of your conversation with Robin down in the desert. This necklace, it makes whoever is wearing it immortal, essentially. Or at least it did once upon a time. What you are getting from the necklace at this point is that it's waned in power some. You're, again, thinking back to the conversation with Robin, you remember they would essentially drain power out of the necklace and into the alchemite. So what was once a necklace that was able to bring people, or to keep people alive, to make them immortal, is now like a what's the actual magical item called? The Periapt of Health. Basically means it's if someone dies while they're wearing the necklace, they would not die. They would like come back with like 1 hit point.
You right, Alex?
Yeah, Alex just
Guys,
Okay.
Oh, dad sneezes out of nowhere.
broke his window again.
Damn it! The children are indulging, Margaret.
Felix shares that info with Kaz as he's learning it.
Oh. So you're saying that this necklace would when it was created would have made someone immortal. They wouldn't have. Why would someone want that?
Why would someone want to be immortal?
Why would a deity want someone to be immortal? Because they're already immortal, aren't they?
A deity who is in love with a mortal. I believe, is what Horan's situation was.
Like shivers a little bit. That gives me the heebie-jeebies. I don't like the thought of that. But I suppose it's possible.
Clearly it was. We learn more about the capabilities of Alchemite every day. Or every month or two. Keep learning more things.
Over time.
Yes.
How? Okay.
And when I cast I could detect that this is not depleted. There's still energy in there.
Right.
So there's still some juice left in this.
Mm-hmm.
We just need to figure out how to get it out. And now, green alchemite is life, red is fire, white ice, blue lightning. What in thunder would purple be?
No, thunder would be blue, I think, more close to the light.
Right. And how did Dalen even make this? It's the thing I always ask myself. Any of these things.
Well, I haven't even thought or considered Dalen for most of my life. Jurgen kind of chimes up from under the table. Well, most of the time where we were, it was against the law to do so. It's like, yep, that's right. I hadn't thought much of him, nothing at all. So I don't know what to tell you about how he was able to craft anything. About that time, Tizal and old Tim wander back into the room. Old Tim just kind of like moseys up to the table and he kind of like nudges both you and Kaz out of the way. And he says, you know, I didn't actually believe that you'd found it. I thought for sure that it would be down there with Stan. And you see like a tear kind of start to come out of his bad eye. He says, sorry. Pulls out a little handkerchief from his pocket, wipes it away.
We were at the bottom of the ocean.
I believe you now. He kind of like picks up the locket. He says, it was supposed to be me. It wasn't Stan's turn. It was supposed to be me. And he just kind of like sits there and he puts both of his hands on the table.
Felix kind of swallows awkwardly, looks around.
Emotions.
So, how's that weather? So, guns, right?
You're welcome to keep the photographs, or if you'd like us to put them back when we're done, we can do that too.
He takes the little photographs that you see there. He says, Stan was always talking about his wife and kid. How they had left him earlier. Not they were still alive. They died years before. He would talk to this piece of jewelry Like he was talking to them. He didn't think anyone on board could hear him, but you could if it wasn't too much sound. Right time of night, you could hear him. He was a good man. Have you found out anything about it yet?
He just shares kind of the details he learned from casting Identify. I don't know yet how much old Tim actually knew about the necklace, but yeah, Felix fills him in.
Okay. On everything you know about the necklace?
Everything he needs to know about how it works, how it grants immortality to those who wear it. Its power has waned, but there's still some left.
How were they able to draw the energy out of this? Like I said, I only saw him do it once or twice, and I know certainly the words he spoke, but how it actually is done, I don't know.
He spoke words.
I
Do you remember the words?
I could certainly rack my brain for him. I remember him mostly.
You want to give it a shot?
Oh, Chamaspot left. Come back, Chamaspot.
He ran out of music.
No, come back, buddy.
Was that a Blue Turtle video?
It was a Blue Turtle video.
Yeah, I use this at work all the time.
You used to what?
I listen to those at work all the time. There's like
They're
10
great.
They're
Yeah, they're freaking great. This episode brought to you by Blue Turtle.
Yeah.
He picks up the locket and he picks up the alchemite, and he kind of looks around the room. He says, "Not here. I think if we're going to do it anywhere, we should probably leave." I'm not sure. I don't know what happens exactly, or if we get it wrong, if something bad were to happen. I don't know. Stan was the only one I ever saw who did it. I don't know if just anyone can pick it up and use it or make it do whatever it needs to do.
I'm sure doing something dangerous in the middle of a risky town that you don't know the impact will be fine.
Experience, do you?
No. Ishmael.
Yes.
Did he have a vision? Did you see anything after holding the amulet for a while?
I don't.
I don't think he did.
No.
No.
When I cast Identify, could I tell if you needed to be imbued to it to use it?
Like any of the items of Dalen, you have to be attuned to it.
Maybe we should bring this to the Magister.
Tim kind of stops and looks at you. Is there something that his magic could do?
We had special items like this in the past. Pulls out the compass. They've required attunement to really be effective and use. And when it's been attuned to someone else, and it passes ownership to another person, we've needed to do something of a reset on the attunement. And whenever you become attuned to one of these things, you undergo a vision.
A vision, say.
Ishmael telling us he has not experienced that tells me he's not been attuned. And my best guess would be if we need to do anything special with this amulet, you need to be attuned to it.
I don't understand any of this magical item talk, but sounds like a sound enough
If
conclusion to me.
we could go to the Magister's tower and try it there, and he might be able to help us.
Shall I stay here?
We can
As you-
we can fetch you when we're ready.
All right. I should get back to Logan anyway.
Kaz, if you'd like to come along, you can. If you are busy here, you can stay. You can come with Tim if you'd like, if you want to see it.
I have already spoken with the Magister once today. I'll stay here and continue to fiddle.
Fair enough. See, if you didn't help me, you wouldn't learn about all these things now, would you?
It's a very egocentric way of looking at it, I suppose. I have the best alchemite.
I am grateful for your help.
There you go. He just turns back to the table, goes back to trying to follow the directions that he had pushed aside. Now he kind of like lays him back out in the way you can see.
Let's be off. Some weird laws of nature, or something or another, dictates that I can't be attuned to this, as well as all the other things I'm attuned to. So you'll have to take it, Ishmael.
It just immediately dies.
I mean, that's 5th edition rules. No one ever said that you can't in this game.
Do I feel like I'm gonna die if I attune to this?
You can certainly try.
We just need Macklemole's thrift shop playing as Felix struts around wearing all his magic items.
I mean, there are actual mechanics tied to how many magic items I'm attuned to, so
Yeah.
it might break the game if I.
Yeah,
I actually don't know what bonuses I get, but it's something at a certain level.
yeah. We'll leave it as is.
Fair enough.
You guys make your way north or west to the Magisters.
Unless anyone is opposed.
As we head out, Wander apologizes to Jurgen and said, I must go with my friends. I'm sorry to cut my singing short.
Oh, are you sure? It was lovely. You can if you need to go, I understand.
If I ever get the opportunity to come back, I believe me, I will.
Okay. Well, I will wait here with bated breath. As he struggles to breathe.
Be well, Jurgen. Be well. Be best.
Here it is. At level 20, I get a +1 bonus to all saving throws per magic item you are currently attuned to. So,
Plus 16.
just give me all the magic items.
Just go to Alatan's shop. Get a buy one, get 10 free.
Just buy all of the weird things.
Just the crappiest magic items, but to have that bonus.
Buy a gold coin with a pocket dimension in it.
A hungry gold coin.
Mungeon.
Yeah, hungry gold. Yeah. The Mungeon. Oh
It
my
was the
gosh.
money dungeon.
Okay. Yeah, I think we'll keep it to the normal rules then for attunement. We'll not break the game, I suppose.
Could be fun.
Could be. You guys make your way west to the Magisters. Any conversations to be had along the way, or just travel?
Felix just kind of make sure that we all agree on who gets attuned to the necklace. Ishmael, are you on board with attuning to this, which means possibly being the one to make the purple alchemite?
No. But any of you are welcome to.
I think it should be Wander.
What's that?
I think it should be you, Wander.
I'm certainly more than willing. I know we had reservations because of my weakness in the desert and my brief communion with Noon. Are we sure we feel comfortable moving ahead with this?
Could always give it to council once we get him back.
That's
But
true.
we
I
also-
would be.
He also has the team. But it's different.
Luca?
I am comfortable with no magic, nor wizards for that matter, so I leave it to you to decide who.
It would be. I don't know how the powers of. Oh. All right.
He hands Wander the necklace.
Okay. When you get to the Magister's Tower, it is later in the evening at this point. You spent probably an hour or two at the temple. So there's not a line outside. You don't see anybody waiting to speak with the Magister. You see just the single light from the window in his tower lit up. And getting upstairs, you find him alone in his tower, in his room. Knocking on the door, I'm assuming.
Yep.
There's a couple seconds of silence before you hear some footsteps on the other side of the door. Even the door kind of slowly opens, and you can see him poking his head out, looking through the crack. I'm sorry, I'm not used to getting visitors at this time of night. Please, do come in. And he pulls open the door for you and ushers you all in.
It's a pleasure to see you again.
You too, Wander. Pleasure to see you as well. Have you Ishmael? Yeah, you've met him before. He looks around and 1, 2, 3, 4. Where's Council? Is he off on other business?
We need your help regarding council. Would you like to learn some more secrets of this world? Gestures to Wander to pull out the necklace.
Should I be
Right.
taking a seat?
Probably.
All right. I have secrets of my own to share when we're done.
I would categorize
Pulls
this
up a
as
chair.
I would categorize this as a mid-level world-bending secret.
So Felix divulges the details of the necklace. That it's another artifact of Dalen and its purpose and what it's used for.
Okay.
And can you guess what we're gonna ask you to do for us?
I'm imagining that it's going to need to be attuned to someone.
That's right.
Do we know who held it last?
Stan. Well, who was attuned to it last?
Aye. Who was it attuned to last?
Stan, the first mate of the Nightingale.
Oh.
Who is dead now.
Yes, I knew of his passing. I didn't know this was his. I never did figure out, or I never did understand how he was able to do what he did, but
this is it.
It's this. Are you sure you don't want me to attune to it?
You'd like to live forever, wouldn't you?
No, but I'd like to know more secrets.
Well, you keep doing favors for us, and of course we'll keep bringing these trinkets back. But I'm afraid we need all these artifacts right now.
Alright.
We went through a bit of trouble to get this from the bottom of the ocean. And that's why Council's dead right now.
Did he drown? Or did he... Did he turn into his other form? Did you have to fight him?
He turned into his other form, and he killed a kraken, but the kraken killed him as well.
Like taking a sip from a glass of wine, a very small glass of wine at that point, and immediately like spit takes it all over the table in front of him. You say that he killed a kraken?
He had our help. People keep misunderstanding that part.
I exist too.
It was a team effort.
We killed the kraken. Well, we killed it mostly, and then it ran off with him on it, and then he killed it, but not before he died, or kind of at the same time. I wasn't there.
Which leads me to believe it could have been us who killed it. He's just taking credit. There's no way to know.
I was covered in the thing's bile.
So, the purpose of your visit this evening is to attune the necklace to one of you, and then hopefully be able to perform the same rite that on him that they performed for the other members of the Kraken Guard. Am I understanding correctly?
I'd
Yes.
say ripping the face off of a kraken earns you a seat in the Kraken Guard. Council was a awfully useful person to have around.
That certainly sounds like it, for any liability that he may have been.
There's definitely, you can say that again.
Yes. Anyway, may I see it?
Yes. It's just been on the table, I think.
Oh,
right?
okay. Okay. Yeah, he picks it up. Kind of looks at all of you, like, could you give me a moment alone, please? I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to reattune it. I promise. I'll give it back.
You sure you don't want to show me how to do it?
Some things can't be taught.
Felix's eyes narrow a little bit. Then he backs up out of the room.
Is everyone else leaving, staying?
Follow
Leaving.
Felix out.
Do you need us all to leave the room complete?
No, you don't have to leave the room.
Felix
I'll
just
just-
back in the room.
We'll be happy to back away and give you some space.
Thank you.
Nothing. Never mind.
Okay. He then takes the locket in his hand and like kind of just turns around then and like walks to the other side of the room. You see him like pull down a couple books off of his shelves, and he sits down at the like little blanket area that he has set out for Danny to sleep in. Danny is off in a different corner of the room at this point. He kind of kneels down. It's kind of crisscross applesauce is what my kids call it, on the ground with like the books open. He's there for just a couple seconds, not very long at all, and he stands back up and walks back over and places it on the table. Says, "It's yours for the taking."
Wanda?
Yeah, I pick it up. Many thanks, good Magister. We are once again in your debt.
You said you had some things to tell us. We've got about 30 minutes or an hour or so. If Wanda, you want to take a seat?
Oh, that's right, because it takes some time to attune. Sure. Well, before you left, and he takes another sip of wine just to wet his palate a little bit. First off, I'm assuming that your journey was successful. Were you able to do whatever it was that you needed doing?
Yeah. We journeyed to the non-city deep under the ocean to the voice that was calling us.
Hey.
And we found the necklace, and we killed the Kraken.
I suspect there's more to that story, but I won't push. When you left, I had my own research that I was planning to accomplish here. First, for any mention of the heart of the world in any of the books and tablets that we've received, no luck there, unfortunately. But what I was able to find was mention of the Kraken. It's here, and he again like turns away, kind of gets away from the table and goes back to a shelf. And you see him rifle through some papers. And he pulls out a metal tablet, which immediately, Felix, you can recognize this is Dorn something or other. And he comes back with it. He says, I was able to translate this and was able to find some writings of the Kraken here. I believe, and he kind of hands it over to Felix. He says it's a record of sorts of the last known whereabouts of the guardians of the creators is what it says. I imagine the deities is what it speaks of.
Nam, Nin, and Nain.
Who?
The creators.
The Creators.
Are those? I'm sorry. Are those different names for deities?
They're not. They created the deities. And the Krakens are Non's guardians. That was the voice that called us out. And she's losing her power and needs to slumber, or she's probably slumbering already. So she can't control the Kraken. The Krakens. But go on with what you've learned. We can fill
No,
you
this
in.
sounds quite a bit more important than what I was going to say.
You just learned of a new celestial layer.
Yeah. With this probably would help you in your research. Non did divulge the details of most of the whole situation. And with that, Felix kind of goes into the whole, like, Noon created, maybe by accident, Non and Nain, which are the Titans, were on not Nain. Non is the ocean and Nin is the air. And they created the gods, and the gods created the mortal races.
How much detail do you go into with this?
I mean, he goes into as much as he can. He's living, in Dwarn society where they've shunned, any mention of Dalen. Dalen, who we have much to learn from, the Dwarn society. He's kind of got a chip on his shoulder now, so he's basically... knowledge should be spread. So that's his attitude towards teaching it to the Magister. He doesn't want to tell everyone about it, but the people he trusts.
Sure. Probably about the time you're wrapping that up, Wander, you collapse in your chair. Wander, your vision, you see a handsome male hewn who stands amidst some tall grass on an embankment overlooking a rocky sunset-lit beach. He faces a beautiful, light-haired woman, the necklace around her neck, and both of her hands clasped in his. A small child draws pictures in the sand just out of earshot of the conversation they have. I know, dear. I don't want to leave neither, he says as he leans down to place his forehead against hers. She leans in as well and takes this opportunity to wrap both arms up and around his necks. Then don't. The man lets out a heavy sigh. You know it's not that easy. The silence is broken only by the sound of waves lapping on the shore. And it goes on. And it lasts longer than either of them is comfortable. Please, the man starts. Just tell me why, the woman blurts out in response. I don't know, Lila. The man breaks the embrace and turns to stare at the horizon. I never know. The woman approaches behind him and wraps her arms tightly around his waist and buries her face into the back of his shirt. And time, again, stands still in this moment. I'll be back, just like all the other times, the man says, trying to sound reassuring as he twists around to face her once more. Promise, she says, looking up into his blue-gray eyes. Promise. Neither of them believes it, and it shows. One final kiss, a twirling embrace, and a playful wink, before the man picks up his backpack and jumps down the small ledge into the sand below. The woman stands with her arms crossed, looking down on her eternal partner, and a shiver comes over her. "Hey, Rog. Dad's got something to tell you," as the vision fades. And you wake up in the chair, hearing Felix come to the end of the story of the Titans.
What was that last line again of dialogue?
Hey, Raj, Dad's got something to tell you. Was that right?
Yep.
Right as Wander goes down, Ishmael stands at attention and draws his sword.
Okay.
What's going on? What kind of magic is this, sorcerer?
And he's not out for that long. The vision itself is much longer than the in game time or real world time that he's unconscious. It's a matter of seconds, but you do that.
Oof.
This happens with every attunement to one of the artifacts. Wander likely just saw a vision of one of the gods.
I did. And
She's his sword.
I share the vision.
It must have been Horan, obviously.
The Magister has again pulled up a chair at this point and is just like, his head is in his hands, and you can see he's just 1,000 yards staring, like, what is going on?
Imagine learning all of that and then having the new perspective of everything that his brother has talked about and done. It's just like, oh.
And he mentioned Raj, maybe Roger.
Mm-hmm.
Robin. Horan was Robin's grandfather, if I'm remembering correctly. So Roger may have been Robin's father. That's just what I'm guessing. Not that that's terribly important, perhaps, but...
Yeah, and then there was Lila as well. Is that it?
Mm-hmm. You recall from the conversations with Robin out in the desert that Horan's love that he left, or the father of his father, or the mother of his father, her name was Delilah.
That's right. Ooh, those visions. Oh my.
Yeah, the Magister just kind of like checks out from the conversation at this point and is just staring, like a mix between lost and like doing the like woman with the math.
Yeah.
What?
All right.
We have work to do.
Indeed.
Okay. All right. I need some time to think on this. Before, because I'm assuming you'll leave again. Seems to be what you do. I'm not faulting you for it. Just
Unless something important's happening here.
oh, there's very many important things. But I'll tell you maybe tomorrow when you come back. If you'll come back.
We'll probably be here tomorrow.
Right.
We'll try and catch you early in the day.
Hopefully with a recovering council, but we'll see.
All right. Oh, sorry. And he doesn't get up from his chair or anything and flicks open the door from across the room. Just please keep me informed.
Will do.
After you leave, you don't hear the door close again. And make your way back to the temple.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, the sun has fully set. It is the earlier parts of the evening, but like 9 o'clock or so. That's early for some of us, Alex.
I go to bed at 11. I got like 2 hours.
As we're walking along, Wander says, "That Magister is very different in the morning than he is in the evening. I've noticed that."
Getting back to the temple, there is same. Nothing has really changed in the time that you've left. Kaz is there with the parts of the gun and the manuscripts. Tim has returned back to the gentleman that he was helping. You can see he's just finishing up wrapping the wounds on this gentleman.
Hello, good Tim. I think we might be prepared to give it a shot.
Is that so?
You might need to tell Wander what to do. He is attuned to the necklace now.
I still don't quite feel comfortable doing it in here, if that's all right with you.
That's all right with us.
All right. I believe I know of a building that's abandoned. I know lots of buildings that are abandoned, but I know one I have in mind. And he kind of starts to take you out of the temple. What is up with my camera, man? Come on. Do I try to sit back?
I wonder if there's a way you could like lock its focus.
I don't know. Man, I don't know.
Felix just pokes his head into Kaz's workshop. We're gonna give it a shot if you're interested in watching. Otherwise, we'll let you know how it goes.
At that, Kaz kind of, his ears prick up, sets down the pieces that he's working with. Might be nice to learn something, sure. Kind of looks around him and looks down at Jurgen, gives him a pat on top of his head.
You're gonna hold things down for us.
Yep. Watch the workbench, Jurgen. At which point Jurgen says, "There's a workbench here?" And he laughs and he leaves. Gaz follows behind. Old Tim leads you out from the. Oh, I can use this here, right? You guys can see my mouse. So it leads you out from the front of the temple, facing east, and takes you immediately westwards a block, and then north a block. Just kind of far enough away from people that you're sure that no one is here. There's no water nearby or anything. But you find that this house, it just as Tim said, it's abandoned. No one's staying in it. And there's the water was up to this point, so the floor is dirty. It's dirt, but there's still crap on the ground. Maybe not little crap. But stuff on the ground. and all of the furniture that's in there is kind of like tossed about, whatever. But it's empty otherwise. He says, "All right, now which one of y'all is? Oh, that's the wrong accent, isn't it? Which
We just turned into a dwarven while on the
yeah,
way
right. Why not? He drops his guys, and it's Aetherwolf, and he stabs you.
No!
Which one of y'all is going to be doing the right?
Wander here.
That would be me.
Which Wander? You found the necklace. It's too small to fit around you like a traditional necklace, so you're wearing it more like a charm bracelet, like around like one of your branches, one of your arm branches. And he says, "Okay, well, this will be interesting if nothing else." He asks you to step forward, if you wouldn't mind holding out the alchemite. And he kind of like he's kind of guiding your branches as if they were hands, and asks you to like, all right, put your hand, and you hold it like this, like places the alchemite in the middle of your hands. And he kind of looks up at you and says, "Permission to remove the necklace."
Granted.
Takes it off of your kind of unwraps it and places the locket itself on top of the alchemite. And he says, "Now, this is everyone's last warning. I've only seen Stan do this a handful of times. Never done it myself. I don't know what's going to happen. If anyone wants to be safe, now's the time." He kind of looks around at everybody for confirmation.
What do you mean by be safe?
I don't know what's going to happen. If something goes wrong, alchemite itself seems to be unpredictable in what I've seen. It might explode. Who knows?
Perhaps we should all back up a ways. If it were to explode, there's no sense in all of us dying.
If you'd like to maybe step outside, guard the doorway, you're more than welcome to.
Certainly. He obliges.
Okay.
I'm gonna laugh if you do a TPK and everybody dies but me.
Everyone dies but Ishmael. This is the Ishmael show now.
Felix stays, and you just see the little force field barrier around his armor go up.
Tizzle stands behind Felix.
Puts on some goggles.
Kaz, as this is going on, is just like, wait, what? He kind of like scooches over next to Tizzle behind Felix, but still with it, he's still able to see.
Wouldn't be my first explosive experiment.
True. The old Tim then, after everyone gets into proper place, he looks at Wander and he says, "All right, you're going to have to repeat after me. Is that clear?"
Clear.
Tim kind of takes a second. He says, "Got to make sure I get the words right."
Can I help him with that roll?
Tizzle nudges.
The flash of genius.
Sure, yeah. Okay.
The camera pictures were lined up just right for that for me. It looked like you were actually nudging him.
plus 5 to that roll.
+5, okay.
So a 6.
No, don't.
That one is a nat one.
Council comes back as a meatball.
Yeah. This is all right. I think I remember. Yeah. Yep. I think I'm good. The price be paid.
Price be paid.
A body laid.
A body laid.
Blood is spilt.
Blood is spilt.
An early grave.
An early grave.
Anyone who's standing there, as Wander is beginning to say this, you can see the clear alchemite on the inside of it. It's like when you drop like bits of like drops of ink into water, you can start to see like little bits of like this really dark color begin to go into the stone. By Horan's kin.
By Horan's kin.
The key within.
The key within.
Give the gift.
Give the gift.
Hold back decay.
Hold back decay.
You can see now the alchemite is almost entirely purple, with the color that it is. It's a very light purple. It feels like it hasn't like fully permeated it yet. And the inky color is still swirling on the inside. It says, "Through death's furnace."
Through death's furnace.
Days of service.
One more time.
That's not part. Days of service.
Days of service.
You can see as Wander takes a second to pause, the alchemite gets a crack across its surface. And old Tim just kind of looks down at it, looks back up at Wander. Harness might.
Harness might.
A soul to save.
A soul to save.
And at that point, he takes his hands away from you and just kind of like takes a step back. And you can see in your hand that that like purple within has just continued to darken and darken and darken. And at the point where from the crack that you can see, there's some kind of like water or like ink that is like pouring out of that crack. Not a lot. It's just very light. And it just a few drops like drop down to the ground. But eventually, standing there holding this alchemite, the swirling stops. And you're left with this just almost black in the color of purple that it is. A chunk of alchemite in your hands.
Does this look about right, Tim?
It looks roughly right. I'm used to seeing it a bit lighter color than that, but The real test will be once we get it into the corpse.
All right.
I'm just glad I'm walking out with here with the fingers that I came in with. You know what I'm seeing? Kind of like nudges you a little bit.
Tizal slowly raising his hand. How do we get it in the corpse?
Well, that's the part that I'm much better at, yes. I'll perform the surgery.
If you need any help, I'll offer a hand.
If you add council bones to your suit, I swear to God.
You
don't need all your ribs.
Ghosts will haunt you.
Just some of your ribs.
Did you know that how much of your intestines you could lose and still be able to function just fine?
We have like 30 or 40 feet of it. You don't.
You don't need all of it. I could use this.
It's nature's multi-purpose tubing.
That just fine is doing a lot of work there. If you've ever talked to someone who's lost a bunch of their intestines,
Just
I go to the bathroom like 5 times a day.
on a good
five
day.
times. It's like 5 times is so few.
Yeah, 5 times
You could
is
drink more
not
water.
as many as I. Yeah,
I'm talking about pooping.
I
Short of intestines.
There you
I
go.
poop a lot.
Yep.
I'm
Those are the
imagining
kind-
Felix saying this, by the way.
This is in character.
Those are Crohn's disease conversations. I only pooped 8 times today. It was a good day.
It wasn't bad.
Felix just kind of turns to Kaz, like, now isn't that something?
Kaz just stares at the alchemite that Wander holds. That is something. Don't feel right, but it's something.
We're always in the pursuit of knowledge. Now let's see how this fits in the body.
You guys tap Ishmael on the shoulder and say, "Yep, we're all still alive." Make your way out back to the temple. Any conversations to be had, or just walking?
Wander's walking, but visibly wobbly.
Okay.
Now don't drop it.
Boom.
The Wander, in addition to your own energy being sapped for this, you feel the necklace itself, now that you get it back on you, it also feels sapped. Like you're not sure if this still has any power left in it or not. But it's still the necklace. Getting it back to the temple, you can see most of the like candles and torches and things inside are being dimmed at this point, or being extinguished at this point. The main part of the big chamber inside is darkened, and any of the aides who are still around are carrying around like individual candles with them to like check in on patients, make sure that people are comfortable, whatever. But other than that, it seems to be quieting down for the evening. Old Tim goes to one of the big like drawer, like shelving units on the side of this chamber, and he begins. He kind of pulls the drawers out and starts rifling through the instruments inside, and begins pulling out tools that he will need for the procedure. Many of which are not as delicate as you think they should be.
Rib spreaders.
Yeah, he's like he doesn't have like a bone saw. He has just like a hand saw. Like it's not pretty in any way. You feel like there's probably as much wood in that saw as there is like gore. It has definitely seen alternative purposes. But he gathers his instruments and he kind of wanders back towards where Council's body was, or is. Council's body is still there.
I was gonna say
where Council's body was, but he's not there anymore. He gestures to the body, says, "No, we're going to need some light, and we're going to need some space to do this." At which point, Kaz kind of chimes up and says, "Oh, you could probably use my workbench. I can clear it off for the night. How long does this take?" And Tim looks back at him and says, "That's mighty nice. It's probably going to take most of the evening. We'd certainly need to clear out any of the folks that are in that room. Don't want them getting ill. It's not pretty." Cass says, I'll take care of that." And he goes back to his room, or that room that he was in. At which point you see some people start to like filter out and over into the other room. Some of them are just leaving the temple. Some are just kind of coming out here to the main area. But he, upon getting all of his things and making sure that he's got everything, looks back at the rest of you. Says, "All right. Now comes the fun part. Who's going to carry him?" "You, big fella." Kind of points at his man. No, the other one.
Yes, the small bird man.
Would you please? Thank you. And he begins to waddle his way now. Like he's got all of his tools under one arm and he's got the cane on the other. And he's like making his way back to the room where Kaz is.
Ishmael reaches for the toolbox as well as we walk.
Oh, okay.
I can carry those for you as well.
Oh, thank you. I've got them though. I'm quite practiced. He just kind of like holds on to it into his like old man death clutch. Won't let his pride be ruined by you.
Just scoops him up and puts him under his arm.
No. Makes his way to that room, which Kaz at this point has emptied out. And when you enter the doorway, you can see he's kind of like gathering up the papers and like putting them in a stack on another like side table on the other side of Jurgen. In doing so, he like knocks over a cup of water that Jurgen had next to him and spills on Jurgen's lap. Apologizes, goes back, cleans up the bits of gun that are there, and puts those off to a different table on the side. After it's cleared off, kind of brushes it off and says, "It's as good as it's gonna get. Sorry about the mess." Tim just says, "It'll do. I've performed it on worse, believe it or not."
Felix has the homunculus pop out of Tizal's eyes and crawl up to the bench.
At which Tim just looks at Tizal, says, "Is that what you're going to tell me later?"
You can have its help. It can hold things for you. And he also makes this gauntlet. It has the radiant weapon enchantment, so he can shed bright light with it in 30 feet.
Okay. Perfect. Okay.
It's basically his hand's like a flashlight.
Okay.
Or a really bright light.
Sounds good. Laying counsel on the table. Really the only like piece of clothing that he has left is something of a cloak. His mask is in one of your possessions. I'm assuming that the bits of armor either back on the ship or one of you took it with you.
Yeah, we probably forgot to bring that stuff along, didn't we?
No one mentioned it specifically.
But he is lying on the table. And Tim just kind of looks down at him, takes a deep breath, and then looks back at the rest of you and says, if any of you would prefer to not be here, now's the time.
Ishmael walks up.
I can go get his belongings from the ship and check on Sledge.
Wander slowly wobbles out and sits down next to wherever Jurgen ended up in all this.
Oh, Jurgen's still under the table.
Oh, he is.
Yep. Yeah.
We put a little tarp over him.
Yeah, just make sure like he doesn't get any blood on him.
The watermelon smashing.
He's just a piece of furniture at this point.
Yeah.
Wander stays close. He stays in the temple, but he doesn't want to be in the room, and he kind of collapses to the floor and halfway nods off.
Ishmael will go sit next to Wander. I'll right beyond there.
Okay. All right. And Tim and the Homunculus, which is the great name for a TV show or a podcast.
Or a band.
Tim and the Homunculus could be a band, yeah.
Two-piece bluegrass.
They get to work on Council's body. And I think that that's a good place to end this session.
Oh my god.
Are you not going to tell us if he comes back or not? That's a terrible cliffhanger.
Oh my
We'll
god!
find out next time!
If all of this happens and it doesn't resurrect him.
It's been so difficult to poker face through this whole thing.
Oh my gosh!
Straight into feral council mode. And just,
I'm still thinking there's a chance of it
He
happening.
just starts
but
popping
maybe
people
not.
like grapes.
just feeding us with Jurgen's body.
That's a good idea.
It's definitely like 2d12 bludgeoning damage.
Hit by a dwarn.
Yep.
Oh my gosh!
Oh,
Oh,
it's
that
been
was
an interesting
terrifying.
session.
I heard days of service, and I was like, "What? I don't want to say the wrong words. That would be worse."
Council's gonna come back with like a twitch. It's like, hey guys. Y'all got any more of that noon?
Oh no. Oh no.
That was a great session, but a little Alex heavy.
Yeah.
We
You
dial
wouldn't
that
show
back
up.
a little.
There was so many moments like, don't table talk. And it's like, they'll figure it out. Please figure it. Guys, please figure it out.
There were actually several moments where I was like, "This is usually where Alex tells us what to do." Oh no! Oh no!
What are we gonna do now? Uh-oh.
I think Felix is big brain. Yeah. Tizzle with the save too. With the frickin', it's like, hey, maybe we should go find old Tim with the alchemite. Oh, so funny.
Amazing.
Yeah, good
Oh.
session.
That was great.
Oh, that was
Posted in
awesome.
the notes.
I'm sorry for all of the words after, 1.5 sessions of straight combat. Felt appropriate.
It was good.
Roleplay
Yeah,
some
this-
words.
This was so much easier than just casting reincarnate. Everyone wants to stay an elm. Probably. We don't even know.
I mean, he could have been reincarnated as an elm. Like, we had a percentage of possibilities.
I
Yeah.
think it's like 10% or something.
Well,
Those are-
I mean, there's only really
Like
6
9
races.
Oh, yeah, I
here.
guess in this world.
So 1d6.
Yep.
I'm just envisioning the future where Wander tells Council the whole situation, and Council is like, "No, actually, that sounds cool." And the next night, after everyone goes to bed, Wander kills Council, then performs reincarnation.
Keeps doing it.
Like maybe
No,
we'll come
didn't
back
want to be Iran. One more time.
He comes back as a non. It's just like, need water.
Help! Help!
Non.
Kill
If
me.
Council came back as a non of the shallows, he's like, "Where's my crossbow?"
Cross was as
Run
big
it
as he
again.
is.
Run it again.
He just uses his foot on the triggers. Chunk.
Right up. I'm gonna
Right.
stop the stream now.
All right.
Have a good night,
bye,
everyone.
All right,
everyone.
thanks for DMing.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep.
All right.